Hey guys, today we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing a video on RAM Plus. Now the inspiration for this video was I noticed the memory management in Windows 7 is a little bit different. It's using more RAM than previous versions, but it's also a good thing because it can keep more apps in memory. So there's that. Now the relevance to this, it's maybe tinker with the RAM Plus settings to see the default setting on the Galaxy S25 Ultra is 8 gigabytes of RAM plus. We have 12 gigabytes of actual RAM. So why would we need all this extra RAM plus? You may be thinking to yourself, right? Well, that's what this video here is to prove, because lots of people online are saying RAM plus just eats up your storage for no reason, just makes your phone slower, worse battery life, all those things. And I'm here to tell you it's not true. Set this phone to 8 gigabytes of RAM plus, you'll get better RAM management. That's basically the video. But if you guys want to see proof of that, just to save everyone's time, I will show proof of that. So for this test, I have 3 intensive games. I have Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact, and I have 2 extra random games, Blues TD6 and Survivor IO. I had Honkai Star Rail, but there's maintenance going on in that game, so we replaced Honkai with these 2 games. But mainly we'll focus on these top 4 games. So for this experiment, we have RAM Plus disabled right now because, everyone on the internet says, disable RAM Plus. It makes your phone slower, right? But what does disabling RAM Plus actually do? Well, if you have Disk Info, an app you can download on the Play Store, you will see if it's disabled, it uses 3 gigabytes of RAM plus. And you may be thinking, why? Why is that? Well, RAM plus is ZRAM, which is part of Linux. Basically, it just compresses the physical RAM. It doesn't actually use your phone's storage. So don't worry about it using more of your phone storage. You may be using a little bit more CPU power. So on lower end phones, probably best to lower it a bit, but on a phone like this, set it to the maximum. It won't really matter. But yes, it is just ZRAM, and I have proof here, which is why we are here, right? That increasing it does actually allow you to keep more apps in memory. So we're going to start with Zenless Zone Zero, and I'm going to try my best to loading faster by just pausing the video, of course, and going back when the game is fully loaded. So here we have Zenless Zone Zero. I do have it set to performance mode for game optimization, and everything here is disabled, default. And I do have my performance profile set to standard, not light. We're just going to close out device care and Disk Info and just keep Zenless Zone Zero open. And basically, I notice every time I open Zenless, it does that loading animation. Don't know why, it's just a weird part about the game. Next, we're going to open Wuthering Waves. And here we are loaded into Wuthering Waves. I should mention I'm running the February patch on the S25 Ultra, so everything should be nice and smooth, yada yada. It's running. I have them also to 60 FPS as well. But yeah, we have Wuthering Waves, and we have Zenless, which again is doing a stupid loading animation, but it's still technically in the RAM. Trust me, you'll see when Zenless gets exited out of the RAM. So next we got Genshin Impact. So here we have Genshin Impact running, yada yada. This game is also set to 60 FPS, so it might look a little bit smoother than default settings, but yes, we have 3 games loaded in RAM. We have right here Zenless, Genshin, Wuthering Waves. So if we go back to Zenless, you guys will see what's going to happen. It is still in the RAM, which I was actually not expecting. Alright, so Wuthering Waves reloaded. Yep, so basically, RAM Plus turned off can only keep 2 fat games open, as I have to call them. Yeah. We consider that a fail right there. This is why I pick these big games, because they're so easy to test with. Like you can see here, 2.7 gigabytes, 1.8 gigabytes, and it's using only 653 megabytes because it's just loading from scratch. But yes, to save your guys' time, I'm just gonna set the RAM Plus to a higher amount just to prove that it actually does do something. So we're gonna set it to the default setting of 8 gigabytes and reload the phone and do this test again and show you guys how many apps can actually stay running. So here we have the phone fully booted back up with our RAM Plus set to, I believe, 8 gigabytes. Right, yeah, 8 gigabytes of RAM Plus. And we're just gonna do the same test as before. We're gonna run Zenless for the first game. So here we're loaded into Zenless again. It's running, yada yada. Get the idea. Next we're gonna go back to Wuthering Waves. So here we got Wuthering Waves loaded once again. All running, yada yada. Back to Zenless. Gonna show that loading animation again. Don't know why it likes doing that, but it's just, I guess, an Android thing. But yes, we've got those two loaded. Next we've got Genshin Impact loaded. So here we've got Genshin Impact loaded, and so remember last time we could only keep 2 of these games open. So with 8 gigabytes of RAM Plus, could we keep all 3 games open? We've got Genshin running. We've got Zenless running. Of course, the infamous loading icon. And I did not need to go into dialogue, but yeah, okay. And finally, Wuthering Waves is still running. So we've got all 3 games running. See my proof here? RAM Plus does keep more games running. You can go switch or whatever. Go back to that. You can be a pro gamer and run all 3 games. Oh man, the memory usage of it. There's 2 gigabytes of RAM. It is literally like full now. 2.82 gigabytes. Oh, actually, yeah, okay. I didn't expect. This game does not use a lot of RAM. Dang, that's kind of nice. Boom. All right. Yeah, it was running. Yep, this is still running. Doing its thing. This is still running, doing its thing. All right, time for balloons, I guess. So here we've got balloons TD6 running. We're just gonna play. Pick a random baby mode match. Just to have some game running in the background. And we're gonna go back to Zenless. It's still running. Okay, that's good. Genshin is just reconnecting the server, but it's still running. I feel like this one might be crashed. Oh no, we got 4 games running. That's pretty exciting. Can we get a 5th game running before the memory just? Okay, looks like we have even more memory available because it's trying to get all of these games running. It's kind of funny how Wuthering Waves uses less RAM than Balloons TD6. That's really funny. But next we're going to try Survivor.io, which I didn't expect to even need to load in this test. But hey, it's keeping all of them open, so just confirming one last time that they're all technically loading. Or loaded, I should say. Yeah. Survivor.io. This might cause one of these games to crash. Probably. So we've got Survivor.io running in the background here. Get the idea, zombies, whatever. So, will Zenless crash? It didn't crash. Dang, I'm surprised actually. Alright, Wuthering Waves. It's connection error reconnecting. It's running, okay. Genshin? Reconnecting to server, yeah. If your internet doesn't suck like mine. Balloons? Oh my god, I'm actually surprised they're all running. Alright. Do that, blah blah blah. I'm terrible at this game too. I'm terrible at all these games. But dang, okay, so we are able to keep all of these apps running. Or games I should say. When before we could only get like 2 games running. So we have Zenless, Wuthering Waves, Genshin, all of them here. And they're all using like at least 1 gigabyte. Like that's insane for an app to use so much. Disk info. Let's see the disk info. How much of this is being used? Yeah, we filled the RAM plus and a normal RAM. Just trying to keep all of these games open in the background. Like that's pretty impressive for a phone anyway. To keep all this stuff open. Like these games are not like this game, especially this and Wuthering Waves. These are intensive games for any phone. You know, and they're also running fine. This one's like whatever. Yeah. But yeah. This is running, blah blah blah, resume. Oh my god, yeah. Alright, so that's the conclusion of the video. 8 gigabytes of RAM plus lets you keep more apps open. Basically, the more RAM plus you have, the more apps you can keep open. But I still feel like there will be naysayers out there telling me, oh, because you enabled RAM plus, that's why you keep more apps open. Well, I have proof here in a video that all 5 of these games are staying open. So, we're going to do something interesting. Let's close out everything. We are going to set RAM plus to 4 gigabytes and go do a test to see how many apps we can keep open. And at this point, you guys can basically finish watching the video. You saw the conclusion we came to. Basically set it to default 8 gigabytes of RAM. Enjoy having more apps open for a longer amount of time. Oh, last very important thing. Battery life, no impact. The battery life I get with just some history. When I first got this phone, for like the first week or so, I had set to 4 gigabytes. I've basically been using 4 gigabytes of RAM plus for the past couple of years because I discovered way back when at 2, and when disabled, it was set to free in the disk info and other apps similar to disk info. So I set it to 4 gigabytes. I was like, okay, maybe I'll get an extra, I'll set it to 4 or whatever. Well, with this phone, I set it to 8 gigabytes once I noticed this test of being able to keep more games open. Like, that's pretty nice, you know? You can keep more apps open. Why not use it? My battery life, like I've been using like this for a week, identical to how it was when I was at 4 gigabytes of RAM plus. Performance, identical. My Geekbench and everything is snappy. Everything is working fine. So, next we're going to do 4 gigabytes. If you guys made it this far, thank you, I guess. But otherwise, you guys can finish watching here. By that, I mean you guys can finish watching if you don't want to see the 4 gigabytes of RAM plus results. So, we have the phone set to 4 gigabytes of RAM plus now. Checking memory, 4 gigabytes. Disk info for further proof, 4 gigabytes. Alright, we're going to start the test with Zenless, and once again I will cut to the actual loading. So here we've got Zenless running. We're going to do Wuthering Waves next. So here we've got Wuthering Waves running, and just to show proof, Zenless Wuthering Waves. We're going to open Zenless again. It's probably going to show that infamous loading icon. But yes, it is technically still running. RAM, next, Genshin Impact. Here we've got Genshin Impact, and just to show proof, Zenless Wuthering Waves, and we'll go back to Zenless, still in memory. Wuthering Waves, still in memory. Alright, so at least when set to 4 gigabytes, we can keep all 3 of these intensive games open. But what will happen if we try opening balloons? We're just going to try going back to some random easy game, standard, whatever. Place this, sure, whatever. Keep that running in the background. Alright, so we got balloons, Zenless. And we'll go back to Zenless because it was the first game. And it's still in the memory. Alright, what about Wuthering Waves? Wuthering Waves has crashed. RIP. What about Genshin? Genshin is loaded. Okay. So, what if we try loading Wuthering Waves? I'm totally butchering the name, but it's okay. What if we try loading Wuthering, whatever this game is called, and just see if we can keep them all open just from going back and forth between them? So once again in Withering Waves, go back. Zenless is still chilling in the background. Genshin is reconnecting, but it's in the background. Yep. Bloons has died. Rest in peace. So yes, with 4 gigabytes of RAM plus, we can keep 3 games open. Does that mean with 6 gigabytes of RAM plus, we can keep 4 games open? Well, once again, you guys can tune around and find out, or you can just turn the video off here if you guys are happy just having all 3 of these games open and not anymore. Then set it to 4 gigabytes. If you only want 2 of these games open, then set it to either off or 2 gigabytes of RAM plus. But now we're going to see how it is with 6 gigabytes of RAM plus. So we're just going to go here. Oh yeah, might as well, just for fun. We're just going to see. Yep, there's the swap. Basically full. And actual RAM basically almost full. And that's the conclusion for 4 gigabytes of RAM plus. So we have the phone set to 6 gigabytes of RAM plus. Go to memory. It's checking everything, yada yada. 6 gigabytes, and we're just going to close out of all the games that were earlier. So we're fresh. And we're once again going to open. You guys know what drill by now is Zenless Zone 0. So we've got Zenless Zone 0 once again. We're going to Withering Waves. We've got Withering Waves here. And just like before, we're going to open Zenless Zone 0 once again. It is in fact still running in the background. Alright, so we're gonna go to Zenless, or not. We're gonna go to Genshin Impact now, once again. And once again, we've got Genshin Impact here. We're gonna go back to Withering Waves. It's all running fine. Then go back to Zenless Zone 0. It's all running fine. Go to Bloons TD6. So I'm going to play, pick this map, easy, standard. Place her little red or pink dart thing, go fast, blah blah blah. And we're going to go back to Zenless, which, yep, running in the background. We're going to go to Withering Waves, still running, okay, Genshin. Alright, so it is able to keep all of these apps running. Alright. Well, that's what this video is for, so we can all learn what the heck's going on. So, yeah, it's able to keep all 4 of these apps open, which 4 gigabytes of RAM Plus was not able to do. Further proof right there. Next, we might as well open Survivor.io and see if the phone can handle running this along with all of the other games that are open in the background. We're just going to continue our unfinished battle from earlier. Fighting zombies, yeah. Oh, oops. Okay, full Bloons, I guess, is first. But yes, back to Survivor.io, resume. Fighting zombies, yada yada. Bloons TD, continue. Fighting balloons. Withering Waves. Fighting grass. Touching grass, whatever. Genshin Impact. Alright. Zenless Zone 0? Yeah, Zenless Zone 0 crashed. Yeah, I probably should have started with Zenless Zone 0, but you guys can see right there proof that 6 gigabytes of RAM Plus can keep 4 games open. Yay! And 8 gigabytes of RAM Plus can keep 5 games open. Although maybe it could have been 6. I didn't try that. But this is just insane proof right here that, like, just changing to RAM Plus, it's like you're getting free RAM. I'm meaning a little bit by saying you get free extra RAM, but yeah, you can keep more apps open. You guys are seeing the proof right here in front of your eyes. It's stupidly long video, but yeah. But yeah, once again, we're gonna try what we did earlier with the 4 gigabytes of RAM plus. We're loading, Zenless and going back forth between various games that are open. See, maybe it's like a weird fluke of Android or whatever. And yes, here's Zenless once again. Load Wuthering Waves. It's loaded. Alright, Genshin. Genshin is loaded. Yada yada. Blooms. Blooms is loaded. Okay. Survivor? Yeah, it's gone. Alright, so yes, you guys have seen the proof here. The only reason I really checked this. Oh, yeah, once again, disk info. Basically full. Pretty close to full. But yes, the only reason that I even bothered checking the 6 gigabytes RAM plus option is I saw one post online saying to use half the amount of RAM that your phone supports. But in my opinion, if you're able to keep an extra app open, an app that takes up like 1 gigabyte of RAM, it is worth maxing it out as much as it can. So that's sort of the conclusion, I suppose, at least on the a phone like the S25 Ultra, top line flagships. You can see it keeps more apps open. But I'm not entirely sure, like on those lower end devices, will it make the performance worse on those devices? Possibly, but for most people who have like the Galaxy S series devices, just max it out, come to your own conclusions. This is my conclusion with the 12 gigabytes of RAM devices like S25 Ultra, Z Flip 6, which I'm recording with. I guess the base S25 models have that too. Let me know if you guys have like a phone with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Are you able to keep the same amount of amp, or are you seeing RAM improvements? Being able to keep more apps open on those devices as well, because the results here are pretty drastic. And that is the conclusion of the video. Basically, use RAM Plus. Doesn't take up your storage. Won't degrade your storage health. Won't degrade your battery, won't degrade your performance, but it will keep more apps in memory. Yay!